Hey, I trust this message finds everyone well. We're facing that time of year again when we're looking at open enrollment and our health insurance updates and seeing where we stand and where we're going. Obviously, we're in the final year of this current contract, and we're taking a look at the issues revolving around health insurance. But nevertheless, the clock keeps moving, and we got to get set for the 2025 experiences. So we thought we would do like we did last year and invite our friend Ben back to really give us an update as to what the numbers are looking like, but also to give us some positive information about what we were originally looking at and where we actually landed. So Ben, thanks for being with us, helping us out with our membership. Again, for those who may not remember, can you just tell them real quick who you are, who you represent, and what your role is?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Ben Fuelberth. I work for a company based here in Indianapolis called LHD Benefit Advisors. And we serve and have served for over a decade as the advisor for the City of Indianapolis employee benefits, including the health plan.
That's right. And so what your company does is you actually come in and meet with representatives from the work groups and the city administrators, right, and you help advise how to plan and project, and then where our health insurance actually starts to fall based off of the data that you have.
Exactly.
Your role is to advise the city and in groups like our FOP. Sometimes I think people think maybe you're incentivized to advise one way or the other, but that's really not the way your organization works, correct?
Absolutely not. Yeah. So we have every reason to be completely unbiased in our work and how we represent all of the people that are enrolled in the city's health plan. So our process starts early in the year. Yeah. We're always watching the claims data. As we've talked about before, the city's health plan is self-funded, which means that the plan in and of itself pays the claims, not an insurance company.
Big distinction.
Big distinction, right? So we watch the risk a lot, we watch the claims a lot, and we're always aware of what's going on.
All the reason why we have that constant monitoring throughout the year.
Exactly.
Some of our members may not realize it, but we actually all get together at least once a quarter and evaluate what the numbers are looking like. Right. Really trying to help mitigate any surprises toward this time of year, but also to identify ways that we as employees can help mitigate costs, draw those down through our wellness programs, the health clinics, and those kinds of things.
I think the work that we've done in those quarterly meetings has been really important to make sure people are aware of the benefits that they have, and also be able to communicate with folks when things are not going so well, so that we have the opportunity to put some countermeasures in place.
And we've had prior years where we've had no health insurance premium increases. We've had some with modest reductions, flat lines, those kinds of things. And invariably we have the years where we see increases as well. The one thing that I always stress to our members is historically and traditionally, even any of our increases have usually been less than the national average trend lines, which is pretty significant.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I mean, it was pretty unprecedented. We went about 3 years in a row with no increases to the health plan, really looking back into kind of 2020, 21, and 22. And in that same time period, when you look over the last 5 years, the insurance market just roughly averaged between like an 8 and a 10% year-over-year increase. Our plan has really benefited from good experience over that same time period, and we've been in the low single digits most years.
So key point to make here, whenever we talk about percentages, percentage increases or decreases, that's a percentage based on the cost of the plan, not necessarily the employee's salary. Sometimes people think we got an X percent increase in our contract, but that got ate up by our health insurance costs. That's not really an apples to apples comparison.
Totally agree with that. You know, part of our job is that every year we look at the claims, we look at the fixed costs associated with the administration of the plan, and a part of our job is to then create a budget, and that's what those rates and those increases represent. You know, we might budget a certain level, and we know that next year we're going to budget, 3, 4, 5, 6% above that current budget level to cover our expenses in the following year.
All right, so the big deal here. What are our numbers looking like for the average plan and any potential increases going into 2025?
So for 2025, our increase is a 5% increase this year.
Okay.
And that's really down from where we started at the beginning of the year. If you remember in our second quarter meeting, it was twice that much. We were at a 10% increase. So we had better claims experience, some things normalized. We had some tougher claims into last year that sort of worked out of our experience. and that's what brought us down to that 5%.
Sure. And so one of the things that I think is significant about that was I truly was concerned about a double-digit increase.
Yes.
Expressed that to you guys,
Yeah.
and what work could be done to draw those numbers down. But that's a significant reduction. I know that our members are aware that we now have at least one work group that has opted to come out of the health insurance plan. Do we feel that that played a role in this reduction, or how does that? I think many members' concern is, will that increase our premiums because of that?
In the short term, no, it did not increase premiums. In the long term, that's just something we have to watch.
So it's something that we're going to have to closely monitor to see what those impacts would be. But in the immediate near future, with the first move here, we've actually seen a pretty significant reduction in what we projected the increase to be.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah. Then, long term, as we look into 25 and into 26, we'll just have to monitor the claims as we normally would for the city's plan.
Okay, so as we move forward, and just to close this out, any words of wisdom or suggestions for our members and what we should be thinking about as we continue to move forward? I think a lot of times we work to express that, listen, a lot of preventative maintenance, preventative care really helps a lot in a self-managed plan, self-funded plan, I should say, because we're able to mitigate those costs of, chronic illnesses, disease, and those kinds of things. Any thoughts?
Yeah, so first thought is use the Marathon Health Clinics whenever possible. I think if your members are used to using those, it's a fantastic experience as far as scheduling is concerned, a lot easier to get in a timely manner, really high quality care, and you've got lots of different access points for that. So really fantastic way to lower your healthcare costs by using those clinics, and they do a great job of preventive care and helping you identify things that might be small issues before they turn into big problems. So definitely use that. Would encourage folks, if they're going in to have a surgery or a larger procedure, to call Anthem customer service and ask for some direction about where to go as far as a good, efficient provider. That's often overlooked as something that we can do as consumers.
Proactive.
To ask that question. I've always said that people get these bills and they're surprised if they would have just maybe spent 5 to 10 minutes planning ahead, asking some questions, there wouldn't be as many surprises. And yes, some healthcare is expensive, right? But if you can reduce that cost a little, that helps everybody. And one of the programs that we're excited about for 2025 is a new vendor called RX Savings Solutions. And this is a program, we've heard a lot of feedback through City HR from really everybody that participates in the plan. And I don't really know too many plans where people say, the cost of drugs, prescription drugs, is not a problem for us. Most programs that we work with, and we represent 1 in every 6 commercially insured Hoosiers is managed by LHD. We find that pharmacy is just an issue across the board. So RX Saving Solutions is a new program, and we really put it in place to help the end user save money. There's certainly savings in there for the plan, but that's really eclipsed by the amount of money that people will have the opportunity to save. So it's a new vendor that's going to be reaching out proactively, and folks can also reach out too with questions about, is this the best medication for me? Is there a cheaper alternative or a generic available that I'm not using? And really, again, just kind of focused on helping people save money out of their pockets every month when they get their prescriptions.
Awesome. Well, Ben, we appreciate it. This is very helpful. I think it'll at least provide some good, well-rounded information, maybe spur some questions for our members as well. We always encourage they can reach back out to us, and we can also funnel them back to you guys. You actually have dedicated customer relations folks with your organization as well, that many of our members are familiar with their names. But we appreciate all that you guys do. We really look forward to continuing to work closely with you to monitor this as we move forward and help mitigate those costs and help manage our care in the best way possible, given all the circumstances. So thanks for doing that. We thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this is helpful. As always, we hope to see you at a roll call soon, and keep looking up.